Bigger than a hell ring, moves like you heard on the decks. Glover hold the court and give the chief no suspect. Politics in the mix, like Double Stewart Rich. Spinning tales from Black Wall Street, real life's the pitch. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news.
Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. How you doing, man?
Man, feeling well, man.
What's your name?
My name is Cardi Cornish.
And you a legend?
I'm a legend.
You're a legend here in Baltimore City. Where we at right now?
We live in the 17, Pennsylvania Avenue. The legendary Pennsylvania Avenue.
Man, the last time I saw you here, you were doing something just across the street here. What were you doing?
Oh, yeah, I had some food left over from an event. We brung it out. We fed a couple of people, man.
Why you do that?
Nice soul food.
Why you do that?
Man, the love that God has shown me in Christ, man, it overflows. That's how it overflows.
Yes, sir.
We got more than we can use. We got more than we can handle ourselves. We try to let it flow to the next person.
Yeah. We're proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And we're proud of your son.
Thank you.
You're watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
Business sticks hotter than lava. Got that Midas touch. Stocks and blocks teaching youngins how to clutch. Ears to the concrete, finger on the pulse, dropping wisdom like Hova. Each word a joke. Doni Glover Show, be more news. 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 Walls painted black, history on lock. Blast off from Tulsa, rebirth like a clock. Markets rising from ashes to gains. Doni the narrator, truth runs in veins. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news.
Good evening. My name is Doni Glover, and for 31 years, I've been asking questions as a journalist. But there's one question that's been with me even longer, for over 50 years now. A question that just won't let me go. Who are the real Indians? You see, I've always been fascinated by Native Americans. Always rooted for the Indians and the cowboy and Indian movies. Always, innately. Don't know why. As a little one. Teeny bopper. Just drawn to their history, their resilience, their truth, the stories of Geronimo. That was my favorite story. But the older I get, the more I have to ask. Did America lie to us? Were we already here? Consider this, only 4 to 6% of Africans stolen during the transatlantic slave trade came to North America. Let me say that again. 4 to 6%, single digits, 4 to 6% of the 12.5 million Africans stolen from the continent of Africa came to North America. That's roughly 300 to 500,000 people brought to what is now the United States. Yet today, Black Americans number 44 million strong. How does that math work? How do you get from 500,000 to 44 million in just a few generations? Unless we were already here. Tonight, we're going to explore that question and others, not with easy answers, but with the kind of honest inquiry that good journalism demands. Stay with me. Mafia Shakur, how are you, sir?
Peace, Mr. Donnie. All is well. How you
Yes,
feeling?
I won't complain.
I see.
Got Horace chiming in. Got a little something for us. That ain't the one. Things got moved around in here. I think.
Doni Glover, here it go. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Welcome to the show. Peace, family. The shadow illuminates from the soul. Knowledge yourself. You probably sitting on a pot of gold. Tell me in the chat, you think we from Africa? Really though? The wrong perspective will cloud your judgment. I mean, somebody could tell you somebody you wasn't. Pay more homage and less worship. You tired of being a pushover than be assertive. Politics is just an old ancient secret circus. It get deeper the more you go in below the surface. You gotta learn to heal the trauma, be your own savior. My old earth gave me birth to God, one with nature. I'm an American Indian, fight for the rights of my native land. I'm an American Indian, fight for your rights, fight for your life. Eastern Shore, Mississippian, down by the river. Black man, red skin, bunch of Indian givers. Real side of Shakur, prisoners of the war. Return of the matriarch, the return of the God. East side, muddy water, we indigenous tribes. Black Wall Street, I run a family business of mine. Straight out the gutter, word the mother, high chief on the rise. They read the Bible translation, but ain't reading the scribe. Keep it G, Cherokee, Gullah Geechee the gang. You know how it is, everybody got beef with the king. Turtle Island, we steppin', can't let them kill our connection. You know the mind and the tongue be the deadliest weapons. I'm an American Indian, fight for the rights of my native land. I'm an American Indian, fight for your rights, fight for your life. I am a real American, fight for the rights of my native land. I am a real American, fight for your rights, fight for your life. Doni Glover, here it go. Like, share, comment.
This is in just outside of Mexico City, Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan. Massive. How you been, Mafia? Let me bring up your
man.
board.
All is well. I've been great.
There you go, Horace. Hey, Horace.
Peace, my brothers. How y'all doing?
Peace to the God.
Peace, brothers. Peace.
Man, I watched
Can y'all hear me?
Of a black man in Russia, and he was interviewing other blacks in Russia who spoke English. They tended to be from Africa, but it was very interesting. I had never seen anything so normal coming out of Russia. Very good job. I saw it on YouTube, whole 40-minute documentary on blacks in Russia. There are blacks in Russia, and they do identify quite often with hip-hop culture. Planet Wells, how you doing, Elder?
Good.
What's the word?
Blessed. Hey, everything is everything. We're moving and grooving. How's everybody doing?
All is well. Peace to the planet.
Good. Absolutely.
And then we got Brother Hannibal.
Hey, what up, though, everybody?
Hey, now.
Peace, God.
Yes, sir.
So you got Chicago, Detroit, Hawaii, Baltimore, all on the line. This is a national show. Hello to our, we get some heck of a comments in our comment section and the chat. Grand Rise and Michelle Walker.
Hey, what up, though, Michelle?
Hey, now.
Right.
So Hannibal, this is down outside of Mexico City, Teotihuacan. We never saw this growing up. We never saw pictures of this, a lot of us, that is. Can't speak for those very astute Native American scholars. But for the average person, we haven't seen this before.
Well,
Correct.
I think this is like what got to do with the Mayan civilization. And that got to do directly with us as well. Like us Muskogee down in Alabama and across the Southeast and Chickasaws and Choctaw, we descend from the Maya people, or even more ancient, the Olmecs. So this is the knowledge that is missing, but the knowledge is there when you dive a little deeper, but you have to dive to the point where you understand Spanish and stuff like that. You got to be able to be, like Doni said, a student of certain knowledge.
You know, when I first put up a Black Indian video about a decade ago, I had some cats from Central and South America saying, look at their nose. Look at their look at their lips. They are Mexican.
Oh no, but you can look at the braids that they had, the tassels on the braids and stuff like that. It was you can't find it no more, but they said they found one of these skulls like this down in Alabama. But you can't find that information on the internet no more.
So a big challenge is we have people who are hiding information from us.
Right. I
was sharing with someone, well, you know what? Let me switch gears because I'm getting ready to pass the ball to Mafia Shakur. But I got a couple of things to share with you. So just 3 pieces. And then Mafia, you'll be up.
Those of you that have been doing the status correction process, listen up. If you've been using the SF-181, that form is being revised and will no longer be a way for us to update our identity or ethnicity. The only way would be through a affidavit which Sharif Nine Feathers Bay has created to put on public record in order to be federally and globally recognized. Please listen.
There's a deadline for 2026. So remember, the Moorish Americans, there's no more white status after this year, right? All would be presumed as being black status unless they put not their nationality up, their identity on the record, on the public record, the proper way.
Sharif and I had a live event for this. If you missed the event, go ahead and comment replay so that you can get started on your process.
So that's one. Got another one for you. Would love to get your feedback.
Yeah, that's a powerful piece. Because I think the confusion, Sister Secrete, she was schooling me on this topic too. We are putting our status on the board, as they say. We're not correcting our status. We acknowledging our status on the board. Yeah, we submitting it on the board as opposed to correcting it, because we already did. We just numbers in the system as opposed to living souls.
Okay, here's your second piece.
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians. And a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. Well, you go up to Connecticut, and you look. Now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Let's start from the beginning, shall we?
Let's get this thing started.
I ain't gonna lie. I do miss this old Donald Trump.
Come on now, dog.
Bankruptcy after bankruptcy, rap video after rap video, reality star.
Okay, that's enough of that. It kind of got off topic. And then one last piece. And these are all found right here on social media.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that Trump piece was powerful though. It's just to show what racism has done to us to be able to
They
see
said that
past
they're
the
testing
politics.
for an indigenous ancestry is the indigenous people of the 5 civilized. We just saw together on 23andMe that what they said that they're testing for an indigenous ancestry is the indigenous people of the 5 civilized tribes of the United States and the indigenous people of the Canadian tribes. All the subjects, including the 3 New Hampshire tribe members, are at least 96.9 European, according to the report. For most of the people named, the report looked at generations from the 1580s to the 1920s. Some have 1 or 2 distant indigenous ancestors, but none was, I don't want to butcher the name, but none of them were this indigenous tribe. That is who they're taking their samples from. And they just told you that. They said to purify this DNA sampling pool of the 5 civilized tribes that has been ran by the United States government since at least 1866 when they kicked the freedmen out. So they're controlling the sample so that we're not included. So we just saw together on 23andMe that what they said that they're testing for an indigenous ancestry is.
I guess you caught it all. Okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's exactly why people say it's bogus and they don't, necessarily agree with it, because our blood pools and samples is not in the pool in which they pulling the information from. So if we doing African ancestry, of course they're gonna tell you that you're African because you asked them to be an African.
I believe that when people try to take the DNA test to find the native DNA, they're going about it wrong. I think that you need to do the genealogy and find the surnames of the families that is historically connected to Native Americans. That's it. It's simple. So with us African Americans, is foundationally the Anderson family, the Bass family, the Chavez family, the Evans family, the Mitchell family, the Goins family, the Harris family, the Taborn family, and a few more.
Yeah.
These are things that we have to know. It's the genealogy. It's not saying, well, I'm Cherokee or I'm Chickasaw. No, who was your family with? The Cherokee and Chickasaws had slaves. Who was your family with? What's your surname? What's your last name? That's
now, are you presuming, Hannibal? Because I got to check you on that. Are you presuming all blacks were slaves?
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying some blacks even own slaves.
Yeah, we know that part. But we also know that a lot of blacks were free.
Right.
More than they would tell us.
A handful, like in the Carolinas, these free people of color I'm telling you about that had Indian mothers. Them was the ones that was free. It wasn't that she was just walking around here and they say, oh, you free. No, you had an Indian mother that was native here. That's how you became free.
Mm-hmm.
So you saying that all blacks were enslaved?
No, I'm saying that in the beginning, like in 1619, the majority of us had Indian mothers. In the very beginning. The majority, even if you count the history of, say for instance, you want to count the history of those who came over here on a ship. Those people, when the next generation came, those people had interaction with Native women. And a lot of them, like, we would go and study the history on these families, the Andersons, and look at the court documents of old in Maryland and in Virginia about these families. They had Native mothers. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how they became free from Maryland, Virginia to the Carolinas. But when they start getting into South Carolina, that's when things start changing. That's when you get the English coming up and taking the South Carolina, like in the 1670s. You know what I mean? So you gotta be a student of history to understand what was happening here. 1500s, the Spanish had that territory, so it was kind of more missions, like churches, like the fathers and them. They was really trying to spread the religion then. And then here come the countries, the military forces to take it. You know what I'm saying? It was a prizes, fight between the British, the English, the Spanish, and the French, and the quote unquote people from Holland, the Jews. They was here as well. And then you had other nations like the Moorish, and then you had the Islamic nations. That's why we get Washington cutting the cherry tree. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be a student of history. So I advise our listeners or our viewers to study the free people of color. Because most of us have free people of color ancestors. As you get back in your genealogy, maybe at your third and fourth great grandparents, that's when the story started
changing.
You know what I mean? That third and fourth great grandparent. Because my fourth great grandparents is where, like, my third and fourth great grandparents is where my story is started unfolding.
And like you, and to add on to what you're saying, like once you follow those names and you come across the names, you'll be able to put the story together, because you could see when these other non-indigenous names come and marry into your indigenous name in the family.
Right.
You'll be able to see. Yeah.
That's 100% sure. That's 100% sure, because you can actually see the Ladino Moors, the quote unquote black Moors that came from Morocco. You can see the Scottish whites and the Irish whites that intermingle. These are all groups of people that intermingle with quote unquote native groups. You get what I mean? And then you got to realize it wasn't just 5 tribes along the east; it was hundreds of them. You get what I mean?
But it was only them 5.
They talking about
them 5.
Yeah, think about
them 5 tribes. They was with the government. They the ones that was outing us off the land.
Well, they was playing both sides of the field, because you had people like McGilvery and McIntosh. They was also, yeah, they was British. They was part of the British Army, and then they was also part of the Creek Nation, the White Sticks or the Lower Creeks. So now you see why the Creek Nation was destroyed within, because you had a group of Scottish Creeks who were in line with the British or the British Empire, like King George, and like you were talking about that 1763 proclamation. You know what I'm saying? These Scottish was trying to make I think they was trying to encourage their status amongst the white hierarchy system. You get what I mean? So they was actually trying to say, well, we got this land, and they're trying to barter between the English, the Spanish, because these are the higher type of quote unquote whites. You get what I mean? In their system. So it's a deep thing, and then we gotta immerse ourselves in history now. We gotta not be so involved in current things. You know what I'm saying? The current things is only reflection of things of old. You get what I mean? And that's seriously.
You gotta look at the root.
Right.
Right.
You know, I'm so anxious to just tell our people, and I was thinking of what to tell our audience, but I think the genealogy is where it's at, because with the genealogy, you start getting to heirs. So when I'm naming them Bass and Anderson families, we talking about heirs to empires, to heirs to tribes now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Shout out to the chat too. You know, that's how we really connect in family ties. And I connected to my family down in North Carolina as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's them shouting me out. So the genealogy is very important, like you say, following your surnames. And once you know the names of those who enslaved and who owned land and who was a part of the colonization, you can know where the colonization comes into your bloodline when you're looking at the ancestors and who their children were and who their spouses were. And this is how you put the story together.
Yep, I see that comment in our comments. Look up Louis Anderson. I think he was born somewhere around 1713, somewhere around that time. And if you follow him, you'll start seeing the groups of families, and you'll start seeing them moving from Maryland, Virginia, down to North Carolina, South Carolina, over into Georgia, to Alabama, to Mississippi, to Arkansas, to Texas. So you see what I just did, like the L going down. That was like the migration from the very beginning of the colonies all the way to the West. So now, you know, I'm giving you the roadmap, the states: Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. You see how I did that?
Right. It's a travel route.
It's a travel route. Then you got Tennessee that's above Alabama. You know what I'm saying? You got Ohio that's above that. You get what I mean? So Kentucky, I mean, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio. Then to the west of that, northwest of that, you got Indiana, Illinois. So we got to be fluent with geography and maps of old. You know, I know.
Yeah, but that's why, and that's why I was bringing that 1763 up to you, the proclamation of 1763, because we're looking at what's that, 1865. So anywhere from that, those names and the locations where your people were is where you can find the name of those tribes going back further than that. Because once you can once you get past the once you get into the 1700s, then you know you are native to the land.
Right. So you got to
bring in Horace Lee the fourth. Horace Lee, how you been, man?
Peace, my brothers.
What's happening with you?
I'm all right, man. Just doing what I do.
Yes, sir.
I didn't have as good a connection, man. I'm like, let me pull over and try this on my laptop instead of trying to do it with my cell phone and my headset. So I think that that this is better.
Yeah, you're definitely coming in more clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You sent me some pictures, a video, I think.
Probably so, man. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I got a couple of pictures I got lined up for whenever you want me to share the screen. But I'm just right now just listening in on what General Hannibal was saying over there, man, about the lineages across the land, man. I think that's important in aspect of dealing with for the last 500 years. But I also keep saying that, man, we have literally been here for millions of years.
Yes, sir.
And millions still might be a small number. Like I said, I always take into consideration what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Prophet Noble Ali, Honorable Elijah Muhammad said 76 trillion. I know that Hannibal and Mafia are familiar with those numbers coming from Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then Noble Ali said that there was never a time that we did not exist. So I think our timelines, man, it is a good focal point, for now, since they got everything so, all mixed up. But I think that the main focal point that is something that trumps everything is our age, which is ageless.
I say.
Mm-hmm.
And where you say this was at again, Donnie?
Mexico.
Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's Mexico.
Yeah. See, I think when it comes to viewing these pyramids, it's by being so close to home. I think that's what make it even greater, because we used to looking at Egypt and Africa for the pyramids, and to see that this is down the street, so to speak, I think that brings a greater connection to what the pyramids mean to us.
Give me a reason to want to go to Mexico.
Yes, sir.
But even up here, like Brother Horace was saying, these pyramids is up here. A lot of them been turned into other things. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some of them been bulldozed over. New cities been made on top of them. You get what I mean?
Yes,
you notice that every major city is along the rivers, so you got to think about them big major cities along the rivers and stuff like that. The thoroughfares, all freeways, the north and south are indigenous routes to the south. You get what I mean? We didn't just stay up north in the winter. We left out of the winter and went down south. The Great Lake tribes and the northern tribes did them things. So
we invented vacation homes.
Right.
Right. That makes sense.
You let mainstream tell it. They going to Florida is only for non-black people. Come on with it, Horace. What's the word, brother? What we got here? Mound Pyramid, huh?
Yes, sir. This is in I think it's Virginia. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I had started I got an arrow pointed, so I'm gonna try to guide y'all to the right of the screen. Now y'all see where it says Black USA in the right hand corner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, if you go down and to the left just a little bit, you see like a little black thing sticking out
Like
of
a
the
person.
top of the pyramid. That's a chimney.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah. So I had put one together where I had the arrow pointing to that so we could actually see it. But when you see those chimneys in there, that's because of the foundation being so deep into the ground. So I would just do an estimate that this thing probably goes to the ground about 500 feet deep. So this would be the congruent to a roof of a house. And the rest of the pyramid is down inside of the ground, so you can literally like going into a large basement. Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah,
But they everywhere, like Hannibal was saying, man. They literally cannot be avoided. You can't even avoid it, man. No matter where you at in this land here, they're everywhere.
Man, I got to put this picture up. I was telling somebody the other day how the lady came on here and pointed out here in our city, in a place that many of us go to, Mondawmin Mall, damn if it ain't shaped like a mound pyramid. What do you say about that, Mafia?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The structure is there. It's just the remnants of the history. And once you follow the history, you got to dive a little deeper to to uncover what they've hidden behind it. But if we're looking at the structures of the mound pyramids, you can see what it is, and the energy source. We got to understand that they put everything on an energy source. It comes from an energy grid. So that's
Now, Mafia, how you know that? Or you just repeat what Horace said? How do you know that? Where you get it from?
I know this because I'm a grid myself. I come from an astrological, cosmological concept. So from the time when I was born in Baltimore City, it set something off in the cosmos. So as I study my astrology.
Did something happen to you that didn't happen to the rest of us?
No, I was just aware of what happened. I was just aware. See, I remember being in the womb and things of that sort. I could feel the vibration. I remember that stillness that Wells always talk about because I came from that. So as I remembered and
you
recovered,
saying it like nobody else came from that. We all human, right?
No, but what I'm saying is I was aware that I was coming from this. So I found that in my life travels and my life journey.
Correct.
Is that to say that other people were not aware?
A lot of people weren't. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people aren't aware. This is why we are given religion, why we are given misappropriation of culture, miseducation.
Well, I mean, how do I know that you telling me the truth? How the hell you know what you was doing before you even had a brain? Come on, Mafia.
Well, the first thing would be, Donnie, when were you aware?
That I was alive, a human being, probably 2-3 years old. Consciously. Okay. In the womb, I mean, damn, but y'all had some monitors hooked up to y'all.
Well,
I know you just saying.
It's the consciousness, Donnie. It's the consciousness. I was conscious before I was born. I was consciousness before I had a vessel.
But you're saying it in a way like most people are not conscious.
Donnie,
most people are not aware of that.
Donnie, do you remember when you discovered that you had a personality?
I guess as a little kid.
That's an Indian word. That's a native word right there, Mondawmin.
Well, let me tell you, it's a damn mound pyramid. If I ever saw one, Mondawmin Mall, where everybody in West Baltimore go to, is a damn mound pyramid.
So now the question is what was it before it was turned into a mall? Is it a burial site? Is it a ritual site?
I would imagine historically I could easily see it as a burial site.
We also got to realize
there's an energy there. Everybody loves this place.
It could be a ritual center. where they actually did rituals, and it could be a ley line or powerful energy grid that exists under there. Like Mafia was just saying, they don't build things on top of these things just haphazardly. See, they literally are harnessing or subduing the energies that originally are there, and to revert them, or to make sure that we don't realize what's going on when we feel a certain way. So everything that they do is strategic, man. It's not, they don't do anything by chance. I sent you guys this picture here. This is Virginia. Now,
I
if
see
anybody,
steps. I see a step pyramid.
Yes, sir. You on it?
I mean, it you can't help but see it. You know what I mean? And that's how they. But the thing is that I was riding past these for the past 5 years, and I didn't see them either.
Up in Maryland and stuff like that, in that part of the country, the names of the chief was called a Tayac, a Tayyac. And them places like that, you can easily find out what they did. Like in Baltimore, that's I believe was the Mafia Accomack.
Yeah, Accomack.
In the Piscataway, Kanoi. You can find out what them sites was used for by studying them tribes. So that's why I'm trying to tell people that become aware of what tribes is where, and it's easy as Googling it now. You get what I mean? The AI right now, you ask an AI question, now it tells you, but you got to be able to have some knowledge to be able to monitor AI, because it'll throw you on a loop. But if you got some general knowledge about the certain tribes in a certain area, it will fill in that information. You know what I mean? They would tell you about this site here that Brother Horace have on the screen here.
Yeah.
Y'all see this? Y'all see this one here?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I try not to get amazed at them every time I see them, because I'm like, well, man, if you still amazed, then something ain't right. Stop being amazed at what you already know is prevalent. But this here is in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, the land of million caves. There's a lot of caves down there in the mountains like that.
But those caves are the equivalent of the first picture that I showed, that mound pyramid with the chimney in it.
Right.
So they would call that a cave because of how far it extends down into the earth.
Right.
So go ahead, bro.
When you're traveling down, what's that? When you're getting down to the south, I-65, when you're going down to Tennessee, Kentucky, Tennessee to Alabama, they say the DeSoto caves and all that stuff is number caves after you pass that Corvette museum that's down there.
Yeah. Well, you remember that one picture that you had Doni to pull a few episodes back, that step pyramid. That, remember, it was green. Right. And I mean, it's obvious, man. I saw a pyramid in I want to say it was either Virginia or West Virginia, but man, and I've looked for that map from an aerial point of view, because when I was there, I couldn't stop to take a picture, but I made sure that I documented the exact location where I was at, coordinates it. So now when I try to find it from aerial view, I can't even find it on Google. And why I can't find it on Google, I don't know, but
they erase some of that stuff. They kind of paint draw over the certain locations, so people can't find these historical things, because a lot of people go like what they call like a scavenger hunt for these locations. So they have paint them out on maps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Albany.
I'm listening.
No. Well, Albany, New York, Chicago, Illinois, Walker, Louisiana, Atlanta, Georgia, Smyrna, in particular, the Cahokia in Collinsville, Illinois, as well as Lincoln, Illinois, Newark, New Jersey, Oceanside, New York, Brooklyn, New York, Egg Harbor, New Jersey, East Brunswick, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. These are the actual sites that I've seen with my own eyes that are all the largest pyramids, like this one right here. And Waste Management is in control of each and every one of the pyramids that I just named. And like I said, that they bind our ancestors and the energies that are produced from those particular sites with their garbage that they piled into them. Like I said, the one in Shirley Chisholm Park, State Park in Brooklyn? They said that they were dumping 10 metatons of garbage in those pyramids per day. 10 metatons of garbage, man.
Mm.
You know, but this right here is right outside of Augusta, Georgia, but it's on the South Carolina side. I would actually have to look at the, documentation, but it's, from this pyramid to Augusta, Georgia, probably takes about 15 minutes, and it's undeniable, man. It's super huge. So they're literally everywhere, and I'm thankful that that I'm able to, actually show the people, the tribes on the land, so they can see them for themselves. So now that you guys can see them, you can start activating them by recognizing them.
Yeah, that would be like the Coweta tribe or the Muskogee or the Lower Creeks. That would be Augusta, Georgia, would be their territory there.
Okay, Augusta, Georgia. Yeah, like right there on that what river is that? The Savannah River. I like I say, they had 25 of them clustered right there together, and they got one left. They destroyed the majority of them, and they got one left. But then there are a couple of more remnants of them that's around certain areas, and the way I recognize them is because of whatever granite or material, for the most part, that the ancestors were building them with, they don't change colors.
Did you guys?
You can see the color of it, man. It's like this dull beige-ish, sandy-ish looking. I don't know, and they try to cover it up, but they can't. And then from aerial views, these steps, they try to do everything. They germinate them, put trees on top of them. All this grass, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm gonna make one more point, and I'm gonna pass the mic. In Weed, California, in Mount Shasta. Now, this was before the ancestors actually clunked me upside the head with what I had been missing while riding past them. There's a pyramid that literally sits adjacent to Mount Shasta. But coming from the Oregon side, there are 4 pyramids that are lined up geometrically and symmetrically. It's crazy when you see them. And I'm trying to figure out what other people thinking this is. So you can see them from a distance because they're so big, but when you get on up to them, they have these things that me and the sister Nafisa had termed as blockers, the trees where you can't see them while you're level with them. But the pyramid that's literally adjacent to Mount Shasta, I was curious about it, and I'm like, wait a minute, man. I got on the highway, made a U-turn, and parked right there next to that pyramid, and they literally have fake turf on the pyramid. The astroturf stuff, man. It's not even real dirt. I don't know what it is, rubber, whatever it is. But I'm like, why would they put fake astroturf material on top of a pyramid? But yeah, man. And just for the record, this is not the one that y'all was just looking at. This one here is entirely somewhere else, unless Donnie pulled both of them up already. Okay, yeah, that's it. So one was Nashville, and this is Virginia. So I'm done, brothers and audience. Yeah, man. So there are pyramids for the day.
Okay.
Well, this is my great grandmother, Molly Morton, Blackfoot Indian.
There you go.
From Halifax County, Virginia, South Boston, Virginia.
Oh,
that's Donnie.
Yeah.
That's your grandma. That's Donnie grandmother, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
I'm Halifax too, Donnie. I got family down in there too.
I called you cousin. What always got me was how she's sitting.
Right.
I want to piggyback on something that Hannibal was talking about in terms of the history, because all those out there in TV land, I'm just like you. I'm just trying to figure it out, you know. So I use my experience and my what I've seen, travels, and this, that, and the other. But I'm trying to figure this out. So going into the history, because the thing is, it's so confusing, because you see people, and they're different. You're talking about stuff way back in time. It's confusing. So I started to look at it, and I said to myself, well, because Donnie, brings up the colonists and this, that, and the other. So I said, well, okay, well, what was their motivation? You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure this shit out, Donnie. So I look at it like this. So I said, well, what are the countries that did, the colonization, right? And particularly when we're talking about South America, we're talking about a lot of Portuguese. We're talking about a lot of Spanish from Spain, of course. Yeah. So then I said to myself, okay, well, let's look at kind of the timeline, and so we're talking about, 1492. And then you say, well, what was going on in Spain around that time? Right?
The Moors were getting chased out. Columbus
okay.
Just as
let me finish. So from 1476 to 1832 was the Spanish Inquisition. Okay? You know what the Spanish Inquisition was about? That was about exercising the dictates of the Pope. And the Pope, okay, created all these mandates for the kings and queens of Europe, okay, to follow through. Okay, this is the royalty now. Okay. Now, so then I went into that. I said, well, what is the Inquisition? And the type of horrors that they were exercising on their own people based on the Inquisition, you could almost say, well, damn, they don't even seem human, what they were doing. Okay, these people, particularly women, you've heard tales about the witch burning, right? Now, one of the Inquisition thing was to make you confess, okay, that you were not with the program, you were with the devil. Okay, now check it. These are the homies that spent the money to get the colonizers from Europe here. So they owed them their respect, right? So they're saying that anything brown skin, right, that is not with them, don't you can do anything to them, right? So these structures that Horace is explaining are all around these temples, all of this stuff that indigenous people do because they're spiritual people, right? Had to be covered up and destroyed, right? For them to get the funding to even come here. So when you look at it, you have to always keep that in mind, because the reason why a lot of people will say, well, I don't believe this or I don't believe that, because they're looking at human beings the way they are. But my research shows, no, these homies were on some other stuff. And if you can bring your mind to that space.
What kind of other stuff?
What kind of torture, for one? Okay. They talk about waterboarding and all this stuff in Iraq and all that kind of form. That comes from the Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thumb screws and the rack and quartering, where they tie you in 4 different places and let the horses go.
Yeah,
right?
rip you apart. Yes, sir.
Right. So I'm saying, well, maybe we need to look, if that was the head, if that was the motivation when they came over here, then yeah, you could see how these people would destroy everything, but that had anything to do, right, with a spiritual thought that was not channeled through who? The Pope or the Catholic Church or Christianity in that vein.
Right.
Well, if we were so spiritual, planet, then how come we let these devils take us over?
It's all part of the universal, okay, phenomenon, right? If you look at nature, right? I had a friend who had a farm in Canada and had a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tree that yielded 200 apples, right? Well, when I got there, they were there, we eating the apple, everything was cool. But come late October, that same tree was looking real shabby and looking dead, right? So things are based on cycles. When you talk about the Mayans, one of the things that historians will tell you and archaeologists will tell you is there was this extreme preoccupation with time. They have the greatest calculations of the cycles of Venus. Okay? I went to their observatory in Mayan land, and there were just holes in the wall, but they were placed in a certain place that, you know, the star Venus or whatever would come, and that's how they, you know, use their thing. Now, that requires a great deal of mathematics and understanding. So what you had is you had a soothsayer or a shaman, okay, who they say even foretold that the colonists were going to come, okay, because they was on that thing. So in other words, even though I love apples and the lady loved apples and the thing and it's beautiful and all that, that don't mean that you can stop a natural occurrence from happening, right?
What
You
natural
can't.
occurrence?
The natural occurrence of obviously this Ma'afa that came. So you can't blame the people. You can't say, well, they weren't as spiritual because it did, or spirituality don't work.
No, I'm actually talking about
because you don't understand time.
I'm
What I'm
about
saying is these
Time out, planet. This is a conversation. Listen,
these indigenous people,
yeah,
right? No, I'm quiet a lot. So listen to me now.
Well, no, I want to understand because you're saying bits and pieces, and I just want you to be succinct. What are you saying?
I'm saying that in understanding the nature of the colonists and why they would take so much time and energy to destroy your culture is that they had a specific mandate to monopolize spirituality, of which they codify as religion.
Yeah, but some black people had to help them in all of this process.
So I have a question.
Absolutely.
See, that's who I got a problem with first.
So
the ones that look like me that betrayed us.
Right. So Donnie, that's why I brought up Spain, because Spain, right, was taken over for 300 or 400 years by the Moors.
800
or 800. Okay, right, for 800 years, right. So obviously there was mixing and matching, okay, and there was accepting of a foreign dictate that came, I believe, from the Pope. And they came over here with a specific thing. Now, the regular homies, they don't know nothing about that. Okay? This is the elite.
But it was also it was also the Holy Crusades, the ultimate battle between Islam and Christianity. That was also at the core of it. Because the Ottoman Turks, Their empire just ended.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the I-10 priesthoods against the I-Moon priesthoods. The hidden priesthoods, the hidden priesthoods against the non-hidden priesthoods. It was about allowing people to believe in that you could be God, as opposed to just believing in a God outside of yourself. And that's the difference between the I-10 priest and the I-Moon priest.
But also, what Donnie was saying about the war over there between the Christians and Islam. Well, there were two facets of patriotism that were both created by the Vatican and the Pope in the first place.
Right. There you go.
They wrote all three doctrines, and to be in a state of control politically with certain groups of people on the land over there. So they were orchestrated by the puppet masters who were sitting back watching the people believing in those doctrines killing each other while they were sitting back and eating children together.
Okay. Yeah, so when I agree with Planet Whales about Spain, and I think all of us is talking about the same thing, because when we talk about the expulsion of the Moors, we talking about the expulsion of Islam in Spain. Islam is stolen Spain, and you got Christianity taking over. But it's a third aspect that we ain't talking about. It's Judaism was there too. The Sephardim, they was there.
Yeah, but those were mostly the cryptos.
Right, that's the cryptos here.
Yeah, that was pretty much orchestrating the whole thing for the most part on the higher echelons, because the this is like me, you, Wales, and Mafia. We could create our own ideals and feed them to the people, but we sitting back kicking it while they destroying each other. So that was the same thing that those crypto Jews were doing. And I know the Top Cat said don't bunch them together because of marriage through the bloodlines, but they were all still the same people: the Marranos, the crypto Jews, the Moors. You know, whether they were in Spain, whether they were in Portugal, whether they were in Scott. Because remember, the Scottish Rite Masonic order was the order that were pretty much the foundation of them coming over here before Prince Hall had to get a charter from Europe to be recognized on this particular land. But the Scots were always looking like us. So they the ones who gave the European those particular degrees of how to crawl, how to stand, and how to walk.
Right. I truly believe we're giving our audience the breadcrumbs they need to see what happened in the past.
That's the only reason for it. Exactly.
Because if you look at it, so when we get into Spain in that 1492, you got to start thinking about Spain was called Castile. So you got Castilian family, and then you got another family. Now this gets into the Bible. So you know that in order to be a king on this planet or a prince or whatever, the white quote unquote Europeans say you got to descend from Solomon's son named Rehoboam. But actually Solomon's eldest son is the one who comes from Ethiopia. This is how you become a king, the descendants of this king. You get what I mean? Yeah. So this is what's on the table here. This is what Planet Whales is not trying, but this is what he's saying to us. You know what I mean? When you get into Spain and England, you see what they were doing, why you get vandals and vagabonds and stuff like this, and how scantless they were. You know, this is
because if you don't see that, it's very difficult for the layman. You know what I'm saying? To understand, like, why would someone even do it?
Yeah, see, they had been coming over here. They had already been coming over here navigating for thousands of years.
There you go.
When they got kicked out of Spain, they already knew that the promised land was over here from the get-go.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
We dealing with a parasite. Once we understand that we're dealing with something that's not natural to this realm, then we understand why they go to the great lengths to tear things down and destroy that they do. It's like a virus. Any parasite or virus is looking to absorb and extract things. And that's all that's being done. on many different facets.
And the commoner don't even peep that, it's just like, oh, well, they white, black, this, that, that. They ain't seeing the real motivator behind this horror.
Well, I think that Prophet Noble Ali said it best. He said that some of these things that look like people are not people, but they're evil spirits incarnated into the flesh.
And this comment coming from the chat here, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we get the IRS from. It's for them. That's who the IRS is.
But think about what the Spanish was going through with the English at that time. They was at war with the English. The English was like, you get that movie, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's just a joke about what they was doing in the Caribbean seas down there. You know
exactly.
What I mean? The English was really raiding the Spanish ships down there. The Spanish was doing the same thing down there. They was basically coming to make their empires and by any means necessary. If you didn't know this cross, like he said, if you dark skinned, you didn't know this cross, we kill you.
Yeah, done.
And that's what it was. And some of the people, believe it or not, knew that cross.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You can search the records through the Inquisition.
But I think that piggybacking off what you're saying, Hannibal, like me and Mafia was saying, that another thing that we either tend to forget or we don't know is that all of those sciences that we think came from over there originally came from here first.
Right, and I agree. I would tell people that, like, you got Masonics, you got that 33 and the 3rd Mason. You have Masonic schools here, like in Michigan. You get what I mean? Where the higher knowledge of people coming over here from all across the world in ancient times, and they learned the higher knowledges. You get what I mean about the stars. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Planet.
Well, in terms of the mythology, right? The one thing that all of these countries have in common, okay, is the belief of Atlantis, including Egypt.
That's right.
Right? And who's to say that they weren't actually talking about the Americas?
No, they were.
Because remember, they perceived this as the new world. Well, it was new to them. It wasn't new to the millions and millions of people that were over here building these wonderful monuments that Horus is uncovering.
I think I kind of disagree with that statement right there, because we got to delve deeper, because we got to be serious about this. The Moors was in the courts of the Europeans, especially in Scotland.
Exactly.
So they didn't take it from them.
Right.
They gave it to them.
Right.
When you see Congress and the House of Representatives, and they sit there and they were back in the days, if you remember back in the 70s and the 80s, when TV went off, also before C-SPAN, you seen the House of Representatives and the Congress all day. They was making laws. This is more stuff that they learned. This is what they was doing on TV. But half of us didn't realize that then.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I think, I don't mean to cut y'all, brother, but I think that what the people fail to realize is, not to necessarily discredit the hybrid Germanic race of Caucasians, but they never had the molecular star seed known as carbon or melanin to be able to understand these things on an abstract level. So it always had to be a priesthood of people who had those particular genetic structures to be able to dive deep into those earth and cosmic sciences. So it was never the Caucasoid. So anything that they had, that they produced, just like even in the, I think that everything that we associate on a historical level always plays out right now on something today, like the things that we invent here.
Or so the music that said those sciences originated in Greece and Arabia. I'm not sure where Byron Carter is getting his information.
He's correct. He's correct about that statement. But those
He is
particular
not
ones,
correct about that statement.
but
Those
no,
sciences did not start in Greece or Arabia. They were.
but no. Though they start, well, I mean, technically they
It
started
says
in Egypt.
originated in Greece and Arabia. That has never been
But
my
no,
understanding.
oh yeah, I was looking at the originated part, but see, he's talking about the Etruscans. You know, but so they went by different names throughout the times, but they all got their sciences from Egypt, and Egypt got their sciences from America.
Right.
It was a global trade. You know, like when we talk about like Arabia, we look at algebra, how we express the unknown. That's Arabic, Arabic knowledge there.
No, that ain't no damn Arabic knowledge.
Okay.
No, I can't buy that. Where'd you get that information from?
So when we talk about, I'm proficient at math. When we talk about sine, cosine,
I'm proficient in math too.
I'm telling you. So when you know what the word algebra means?
It means equal on both sides.
Algebra is an Arabic word.
Yeah, but the original.
I get it, but the bottom line is it means equal on both sides. That's my understanding.
So algebra also, you know, we look at numbers as base 10 numbers. It's base 2, it's base 8, base 16 numbers. So when we talk about them type numbers, we talk about how computers and all them things read. So mathematics is not just as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or decimal numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the whole gamut of mathematics. The people from the East understood the whole gamut, or like Planet Wells will say, the spiritual people understood the whole gamut of mathematics, logarithms, and all these type of things, or quantum physics. When you do something like a result, like if I slap you and you do something back to me. And it's say, for instance, quantum physics is the opposite. The things that you might not did occurred as well. You get what I mean? So we live in a paradigm, and we got to understand this. Everything ain't as simple as we think. And the past is not as simple as we think. They just didn't get us and put us on plantations and pick cotton. It was sex plantations here. They was breeding people here. They was conquering people, destroying people. Some of the natives was allies with them. You get what I mean? So it's not a direct thing. You know what I'm saying?
I think what Donnie is saying is that, okay, so like if you study music or whatever, they're gonna say, well, the piano was invented in Europe, and you know Mozart and this, that, and the other. But then, if you know history,
right,
and you study history, you find that no, there was a thing in Southern Africa that was called the thumb piano. Right. And when you look at it, it's the same thing. They just stretched it out. You feel me?
Yeah,
they
you know how
stretched it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know how they say
you look at television today, you see Hollywood. Every time a story of Egypt comes up, it's white people playing the actors.
Correct. Right.
Yeah, you said it right.
In the heart of Africa, in the hot 100 damn degrees, you got Charlton Heston playing Moses. Yeah. You got Elizabeth Taylor playing Cleopatra. Okay. Or whatever.
Yes, sir. Did they destroy the library of Alexander, or did they copy the books?
Right.
Oh, they copied the books. They damn sure stole the knowledge.
Yeah, they stole the knowledge, and that's what we duplicate now. That's what we see.
That's what I'm saying. So it ain't come from. I couldn't dare give it to Arabia, to Greece. Come on, now. It started with black people or melanated people, and I'm a little tired of people getting caught up on black. You know who the hell you are. When the police pull your ass over, you know who we are. Us. Yeah. Whatever the damn term is yours, we get a little petty in this chat.
Yeah, but behind the scenes, we are the ones in these like far as the car is going to space and stuff like that. Our people is with these people getting them out there. You know what I'm saying?
When it comes down to time to fight, are you with Harriet Tubman or not? That's what I want to know. I don't care what you call yourself. Light skin, boule, Kappa, whatever. When it comes time to fight, where you gonna be? You with Harriet Tubman or not? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my ancestors, Samuel Miles, he worked with Harriet Tubman on the Underground Railroad down the Eastern Shore. They called him Rabbit King. That was his English name, Rabbit King.
The real question is, what do we do? What are we going to do?
We do the same thing. We already doing it.
Here in this city, they're about to close down the only black charter school for boys in the state of Maryland.
And what's
melanated
the reason?
boys, brown, whatever. These
little
boys with this skin color. They're getting rid of a whole school here in the city of Baltimore. They say that they didn't make the grades. Mind you, 2/3 of the young men that go to this school are reading under level. So a lot of the public school systems think the charter schools take away from it. But we're in a city where kids don't even know how to sign that damn name in cursive.
Well, I
don't get caught up on minute details like you black, you Negro. Come on, man. Our people getting locked up. And we sitting up here playing semantics. We make up 30%. And that's the beauty of this show. Black men otherwise make up 30% of America's prisons. That's in our face. But we want to get caught up on dumb stuff. You black, you Negro, you colored, you African American. Who cares? We locked up.
I mean, it makes a difference.
To your point about them closing the schools down.
You locked up. What difference do it make what they call you?
King Randall. I invoke the spirit of King Randall to cover those black youth.
And we got to make our own. You know, can't depend on public schools. We had our own back in the days when we were segregated. So
indoctrination flusters your brain system.
You know who the prophets, the preachers, the megaphones, the Martin Luther Kings are today? Rappers. And the next one are athletes. That's who the hell we look up to. Come on, keep it real. That's who we look up to. We care more about this football player getting a multi-year contract. Meanwhile, they can really close a school in my city for little black boys.
And then the rappers that we look up to wear mini skirts.
Yeah, in a wedding dress.
Yeah, basically every high school in Detroit that I grew up with and going to, we had like 23 high schools. I think it's probably about 3 or 4.
Speak for me. Hey, look, we got some chatter in the chat. We're gonna put the link on here. Don't do that. Come on in here and share your thoughts. We don't like you taking pot shots. You got something to say? Come on in here.
Come on, bring it on. But to your point though, Donnie, like the indoctrination for when you coming up in school and you learning this information, it flusters your system and your brain of the knowledge of yourself.
You learn the white people's story in school.
Exactly. So with all the information,
come on in, bro.
Yeah, with all the information.
Damian Hayes, come on in.
Hey, Planet Wills.
Yeah.
When you was talking about them tying the horses to, the arms and the legs, and splitting people apart, that's where you get the logo of Levi jeans from.
That's deep. I didn't know that. But yeah, and symbolism is powerful.
Sure,
right?
That's a part of it as well. That's a part of the indoctrination as well, because we're not aware of signs, symbols, and synchronicities.
Right.
So when you start to pay attention to these things, you can see it. Like I was saying, the indoctrination of being prescribed this information, and we have all this other information that's going on around us outside of the world itself is changing. We are in a new earth, a new time zone, we in a new world. So the things that are changing in the world are changing within you as an individual of self. So even if you wasn't on this indigenous spiritual, none of this is still activating inside of you to create the awareness within you. So being forever indoctrinated in these schools, that's why they made that back to school commercial with the kids being terrorized with they new items that they got for school, to tell you to keep your kids out of these schools. They're going to start being what they call concentration camps for the youth.
I don't know what you're talking about, but they worried about kids. Not the problem is kids are not going to school here in Baltimore. I saw a little boy Friday. I said, why you not in school? I didn't feel like going.
Mm-hmm.
I think our people don't understand, even our children and our adults don't understand that we in a race or a competition with one another. And it's only X amount of jobs, good jobs to get. And if you don't got these basic qualifications, you ain't gonna get these type of jobs here. That's the simplest thing. So if you X yourself out by not graduating or dropping out, you got ramifications and repercussions.
There's no mystery why people get locked up.
Right.
Here in Baltimore, it's real simple. You're gonna do the right thing or you're not. And if you're not, it's two choices: dead, locked up. Dead or locked up. Life or death. Real simple.
Like the choices for us. And like Donnie said, them are the choices for us, being realistic. And it's been the choices for us since the 70s, since the late 60s, since Malcolm and King then left. What's that, 67, 66, 67, 68? That's been the ramifications of us. You know what I'm saying? And the one common thing is us trying to build something without education. We can't build nothing without education or being at least educated as much as those who oppress us.
Well, I want to say that one of the things that I'm in neutral, because I understand our perspective in regards to getting the education so we could function productively in society. But us knowing, what the root or the semantic word of school is, and understanding that the information that's being pumped into these indigenous star beings that's only been here, 7, 8, 9, 10 years on the planet right now, the information that's being pumped into their brains is not even evolved enough for them to want to sit still as the energy balls all day to learn some shit that is irrelevant to who they are as a being on the planet. So now
let me tell you what my mother told me. At 18, you are leaving this house. College, military, or work, you're leaving this house. And I started getting the memo around 14, 15. At 18, you are leaving. She was preparing me because in another 4 years, what she was not going to have was me laying on her sofa. And some people say that's harsh. That's the rules I came up with. She batted 4 for 4. And I feel the same way. No,
so
I ain't gonna let you be homeless, but I have taught you enough by the time you're 18 for you to make some adult decisions about your life. And maybe we've been coddling these kids, making them soft such that they can't stand on their own. I get my great nephew, I'm putting it on Front Street, get him a job at a law firm. And then his auntie asked me, well, how will he get there? He gets the damn bus. But we live in a city where people don't feel comfortable catching the bus, some people. And so it brings me to this real division within our community. Those of us who are the gatekeepers. There was a time we opened the door. We held the door open for each other. Now we are our biggest problem. We got more problems with ourselves than we do with anybody else. We don't like each other. We hate each other. Many of us do. If you don't feel good about yourself, how can you feel good about somebody else? We got to get that love back and cut that damn crazy music out. Put some Marvin Gaye on. Put the Whispers on. Put the Isley Brothers on. Dang.
The OJs.
Yeah, that's about design. We've been the people who've been worked on for the last 500 years and have not had one day of therapy. The only thing that we are told to do is to keep it moving, don't talk about it, and shut the hell up about it. Right. And to my point about the children, yeah, I most definitely ain't with the laziness, but if you study the word elementary, they are supposed to be in the first 8 stages or 12 of their lives, they're supposed to be learning how to master the elements.
So if they don't learn how to read by the 3rd grade, they are building a prison cell for them.
But yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I'm saying is that we're dealing with cosmic children who we have a curriculum that was programmed by some people who have been our enemies since they set up missions in the middle of our territories. So the curriculums that come out of these missions are the same curriculums that's being forced into the brains of the children who are evolving with the rest of the universe, but the information isn't evolving. So this is the problem.
Before we get them out of the schools, can we at least get them to learn how to read and write?
Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying taking them out of the schools.
Because we are producing kids now who cannot read.
Right.
Yeah, if we want to be technical, Elijah Muhammad had a 3rd grade education.
A lot of people aren't of that level of brilliance. We need to learn how to read.
Well, yeah, I'm not disputing that. Or maybe you're missing what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying let's not forget the fundamentals. I hear y'all saying don't send them to the colonizer school. I want them to learn how to read. Before you quit school, learn how to read.
But that's on the duty of the parents. People need to spend more time with their kids. Everybody want to spend it. Yes, my daughter's 17. She'll be in the 12th grade next year. She'll be 17 in 7 days.
Can she read?
She know how to read. She know how to read and write. She is an auto mechanic. You know what I'm saying?
But myself, I don't even think it's just the kids. I think even us as a lot of our adults need to learn how to read. I think we all need to be rehabilitated and learn these sciences. You know what I'm saying? Reading is a science, and understanding it in different languages, and learning how to read in different languages, not just English.
Parents don't want to learn nothing. Parents don't want to learn nothing. You have to know something to be able to teach your kids something.
Right.
You can't just send them to school and put that on the school and think they're going to teach them everything they need to know. You got to spend time with them.
Like I said, the schools in Japan, they have 24-hour schools.
Where kids live there.
The kids damn near live in the schools, and they get to pick and choose which classes they want to go to and how long they want to stay in those particular classes. So now if we had the particular, because remember, we still dealing with public schools. So now, as we know, Mafia, Hannibal, when we're dealing with oil and water or the public and the private, we got 2 different sectors. So the public is always going to be dead and lost at sea.
Well, the other thing that's going on, are you finished, Horace?
No, go ahead, bro. I'm cool.
Oh, the other thing is that once again, looking at time and looking at the age, we're in an age now where almost everything that you could possibly get from a teacher in school, right, you can get from a device.
True indeed.
Right. So that's why, I push, as much fundamental relationship to your inner core spirituality, right, is what you need, right? And as Doni says, in the early years, you need the fundamentals of reading and writing so that you can navigate the new education system, which is AI.
Yeah. I think our children, when just like when a child is born and you name the child, and what that does is that gives the corporation the green light to create a contract which makes that child a surety to a debt before, like Secrete said, before they feed him and touch the ground. Whereas opposed to the child naming themselves or waiting for the umbilical cord to fall off. So I'm not against, our children reading and writing because the fundamentals are necessary, but our children at this particular time need to be learning higher sciences because we are evolving on a higher plane of existence. So now the fundamentals are of course, a prerequisite for them to take it to the next level. But think about it. When I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I hated sitting still behind the desk all day with my hands like this, and man, I was burning up to just get out and recess to let it out. So we dealing with the energy balls that's on these missions, and we all know what the missions are, that are taught to sit there and have to live their lives according to a Pavlovian bell. Ring, time to eat lunch. Ring, time to go back. Ring, time to get out. And this is what we're dealing with, this programming, and the children are outgrowing that because they see an evolution of materialism taking place on this other end, where they like, well, shit, why do I have to go to school when I can just be a YouTuber? You know, I can be an influencer. You know, I can sit over here and eat beef jerkies and get 1 million views from eating beef jerkies. So they're looking at it like this, but they need more something that can go into their brains that sparks their interests other than the same old run-of-the-mill shit that has come off of these missions for the past 400 and something years. That's all I'm saying.
I agree, because reading was not my strongest thing. Math was my favorite subject at school. Reading, I didn't like reading. But once I got into culture, history, and spirituality, and I got them 120 degrees from the Father of Law. You know what I'm saying? I was reading about things that interest me and spark my spirit. That's a different type of education.
That's a different type of education to try to forcing it on you.
If you learn in astrology, and I'm telling you, you was born on this day at this time, and this how the stars was aligned at this time. This is the ruling planet of your planetary body. You also have, this is a different type of information and schooling. So even if we go into the colonizer schooling system, it's the duty of those parental guides that we supposed to have to guide you towards this information, because we all come from a family or a background where we had a certain practice. Your parents was Muslim, they was Mormons, they was Christian, Jehovah's Witness. But once you had a chance to learn and study a certain spirituality for yourself, you chose a different school of thought or religious practice that was more conducive to you as an individual. So this is the same thing that we're dealing with on a higher scientific, mathematical level with the information that we are being fed in society.
True indeed. True indeed. That's all I'm saying. You know, because when you get a DNA explosion based on whatever degree of information, then it sort of motivates you to take it to the next level. But when you're trying to force something at this particular time without any other higher knowledge, then you know these children, they're not trying to hear that, man. Because see what they're doing, of course, the reading, the fundamentals, et cetera, but if they're not teaching them higher degrees of knowledge, they only programming them how to be robots for a system for the next 500 years.
I believe that most people don't have a end goal or what type of career they want education for.
Correct.
So I went to school for aeronautics. At 18, I graduated Davis Aerospace in Detroit with an FAA airframe mechanics license. So I had a vision of what I want to do with my education. So if families have a vision of, you got a family business, no matter what you do, you got to be educated in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that if we have a goal, most of us don't even know what we want to be when we grow up. And that's what I'm saying. Education is a good thing when you have a goal. Then you know what to be educated about. Until then, it seems like it's useless. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think a lot of people know what they want to be when they grow up. It's the way that you go about it and how to get there.
You know, after so long, you start educating yourself in the system. After a bachelor degree, it's up to you to get your master's, doctorate, your PhD. So you educate yourself your way.
But we talking about children, though. We talking about
children now. They going to universities now. It's not a high school or middle schools no more. They in universities right here in Ypsi in Detroit, Michigan. Our kids is going to the university, and they with university kids now.
Well, let me just narrow it down. Our girls, our daughters are going at a much stronger rate than our young men. It's roughly 3 to 10 to 1. 3 to 1 to 10 to 1. Our young men are not going to college as in years past.
That's because our young men want to be young thug and NBA young boy. You know, they don't want to be Fred Hampton, you know, or Martin Luther King. You know, they want to be these rappers that's toting these SKs with their pants hanging down with tats in their face with orange fingernail polish on.
It start with a desire. You gotta have a desire to want to know.
Yeah.
If you don't have a desire to want to learn and to know the things that you aspire for, nobody can push you to it. Nobody can give you enough pep talks or anything. None of that won't matter.
Are we too much of a follower people? Are we just followers?
Absolutely. 100%.
I mean, on a cultural tip, I saw black rappers in Russia. So clearly we have a profound impact on influence, but we're strong in one way, but we seem weak in another way.
It's the balance. It's the balance, Donnie, the duality of it, because we are contagious. Like I say, Nipsey Hussle said, they hate us because our culture is contagious. We are infectious in that way, but it's we following behind the wrong things. Like he said, we rather be NBA young boy than Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? These were young men that we talking about. They wasn't elders.
In my city, in the city of Baltimore, I've seen Cal Ripken, baseball player, white guy, give back a lot of money to sports in this town. Nationally, Cal Ripken Jr. has given away a lot of money. He was not my favorite Oriole. I was from the generation of Brooks Robinson on third base, but he came in but although I was not a fan, this man is the king of give back, black or white. I've seen this cat just give back baseball fields, sports fields, investing in the inner city. And I just wonder where are our athletes? I mean, can we do more than a basketball camp?
No.
Yeah.
Is the bar that low? Because we hold athletes way up here. My son is starting. My son is starting quarterback. My son scored. My son. Or you know, you got girls now. Same way.
Yeah.
My daughter, she started. She scored 25. And I don't say nothing, but I think to myself, what is the give back?
They contractually obligated. It's a system. It's a system that funnels the money out of our environment.
I go to interview the guy from the Ravens, the one that had a domestic with the girl. I go to interview him somewhere around Anne Arundel County. I go in there, he got 2-3 white guys working for him. Don Lemon comes to Baltimore, got 2 white guy cameramen working for him. I just wonder, like, do we ever think, like, damn, let me hire Mafia. Let me hire Hannibal. Do we ever think, like, I should be hiring my own people? This white guy don't need my money.
White people's ice is colder.
What? Did I miss something? And I'm not saying I don't hire white people for certain tasks. I hire the best, of course. But I'm gonna make a deliberate, intentional effort to hire within my community. Because if I hire old boy around the corner to clean my yard, I'm less likely to worry about him breaking in my door. If anything, he might come let me know. Hey, somebody breaking in your door.
Right.
I mean, we got 2 Christmas. Look, Christmas is here. It's here. They started playing Christmas commercials before Halloween. Lot of black people spend money they ain't got to impress people they don't even like. I used to get so stressed out come Christmas time because you got to keep the woman happy. You got to peel out. But you realize, what in the hell have we just done? I had a buddy bought everybody Christmas gifts. In January, his lights was cut off. What in the hell are we doing? $2 trillion. We could build our own damn nation. That's like the 10th largest economy on earth.
Yeah.
Shit, Michael Jordan and Oprah Winfrey could change or have a major impact. Just them two alone.
It seems so, but it's deeper than that.
What I'm saying with their finances, they could.
Yeah, but
their contracts they can't.
Their finances ain't their finances.
Yeah, they are the hired help, so they can't hire nobody else.
They face ain't on the money.
Yeah, they got handlers. That's why those people around it, they hired help working for the hired help.
And that remind me of that song by Jay-Z where he said, "I'm not black, I'm OJ." Okay.
Y'all said it at the same time. No, that's a real thing though. But that's the misconception that we have with integration and not identifying with ourselves.
I don't know if it's I think we got comfortable, Mafia. I think when we were able to move in the late 60s, 70s to areas we couldn't live before and have a lawn, nicer schools, I think we moved to these areas and we got soft. Us.
I agree.
And those older than us. Not you're a little too young, but our generation, we got soft. We stopped working, we stopped going to community meetings, we stopped getting involved in politics. Oh, I ain't political. Everything you do is political. Don't be fooled. Right. That's why they try to tell you 3/5 rule, because our vote is actually very powerful. It's just that when we get in office, a lot of blacks, we end up getting bought off by like, what is that Jewish lobby? AIPAC?
Right. Yeah.
The young man, Hakeem Jeffries in New York, he said his first priority was the safety of Israel. I'm like, Negro, what? He said then his second priority was the black and brown people of Brooklyn. I'm like, damn, son. Right. You got that thing inverted, don't you?
Yeah.
You put somebody else before you.
Yeah, a lot of those people be trying to.
Crab cake. I said, Daddy, did you get yourself a crab cake? He said, you think I would treat you better than I treat myself?
Mm-hmm. See, a lot of people, when they speak publicly, you know, they want to get accolades, you know, from their constituency. Yeah. So if they say the right thing in a tap dancing fashion, then, you know, maybe, you know what I'm saying, they'll get a good booty squeezing, you know, from these people who really don't give a damn about them. But hey, you said the right thing. I mean, because look at Nick Cannon. When Nick Cannon made them statements, y'all remember that?
Which statements did he make?
He had Professor Griff on the show.
Absolutely.
What did he say?
Well, he was saying things. I mean, I don't want to get you so the J word.
He said the Ush people.
Yeah, you know, the J word. You know, but it was a big backlash against that, to where is that he actually got wilding out, got canceled. So
that's what happens when you speak truth to power and you don't own the platform.
True indeed. So, you know, you had one of them on there with him to make a public apology before the world. And man, dude was red back in that chair looking at Nick Cannon like, man, say the right thing, no Vaseline.
That goes for a lot of people, right?
Right.
Yeah. And that's what it be.
Right.
Yeah.
When I think about South Africa and how many diamonds they have, and how all of these Europeans are there taking their diamonds, even down to the Russians, it's sickening. I hope those people stand up for themselves.
Shout out to Julius Malema.
Shout out to Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso.
That's right.
Rest in peace, Gaddafi.
Pimping our children, and most of our people are complicit in the pimping.
That's what happened to R. Kelly.
Was on a roll. He said our athletes sign contracts that state they can't, that they can't give back. Yeah. It's called get a lawyer. Haven't we mastered going to the NBA yet?
No.
No.
But they want to be part of they don't want to disrupt the system, because if you get a lawyer that's going against, you won't get that NBA, that promo. You won't be put on that platform like you want to. Now you become Kyrie Irving and Kaepernick.
Yeah, and then that lawyer.
Say what you want. Them Hebrew Israelites come through. They come through strong, 10,000 deep.
Miko, peace, Pac Jam. Are you Mikasuki? He used the name Miko.
Out and zombified by witches and warlocks in the pimping pulpits. He talking about the churches.
All right.
Nah, it's powerful, man.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is, out of the 8 billion people that's on the planet, we are awake to what the ancestors in the universe has got us to the degree of knowledge that we at right now. Because there's a lot of people, man, they are completely clueless about anything that we speak on for the most part, man. And I'm like I say, I can't even be thankful as I want to be, but I want our people to wake up. But we at the beginning phases of it, man, and you can't stop it. It's a fire that can't be put out. Mm-hmm. I sent y'all the video of Eddie Winslow that tried to represent himself in court.
Yeah.
And they made a mockery out of it where he was on the right path. He just didn't understand how to do it the proper way. But as they try to trap him up with, who are you? Or who are you? In order for them asking that question, trying to trap him into an answer that that they know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm red stick too.
Yeah. I think the more we
them red sticks wasn't nothing to play with, man.
Right.
They were scared to death of them red sticks back in the early 1700s. They feared them red sticks, man, and them Apaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they even brought Geronimo out from Arizona to Alabama. If you know the story about him,
Yeah.
Right, everybody does. We need to wake up. And I think everybody is waking up, and I think we're doing a good job with everybody waking up and everybody listening and everybody cross-reference what we say. We telling you guys the truth, just cross-reference.
I got a question for the panel. Why was scalping so prevalent in cowboy and Indian movies?
Well, that was like the Choctaw and Chickasaw way of catching runaways or catching people that was enemies of their European partners. So that's what the Choctaw and Chickasaws did. So go ahead.
Also, the French, right? That you had to prove that there were Indians over here and you were doing the work. So you had to bring back to the king and queen, right? A bag, which they call the redskin bag, because it would be the skull, the blood of the scalp, right, would drench the bag, so it became a redskin bag. Okay, to prove that you were doing the work, that you were your religious spiritual work in the new world, because you had to be funded to come over here. So you had to show. Okay. So that was one of the things that they did to show that they were doing the work. That's why I say it all goes back to their ultimate motivation. How did these other seemingly human beings come over here and do this kind of thing? They were motivated by what they a warped spiritual thought. They thought they were doing God's work.
So let me ask you this, Planet. How has that worked out for them?
Well, I believe, having been in different schools teaching a lot of times teaching their kids and this, that, and the other, I would say has worked out horribly.
I was going to say,
Okay.
because when I look around my community,
the suicide rate, all of these hidden things, you know, the fentanyl, you know, that kind of drug infested, you know, yeah, man.
When I look around my community, number one, it's not fentanyl that has people overdosing in Baltimore. It's nitazine.
Okay.
This is stronger than fentanyl. It can put down an elephant. So you know damn well it's got people overdosing. But what I'm saying to you is a lot of the addicts that I see in my majority Black neighborhood are non-Black addicts.
Right.
In the alleys, in vacant houses, in abandoned cars, non-Black addicts.
The reality, Donnie, it's always been like that.
Yeah, a friend of ours just saved somebody's life over there on Pennsylvania Avenue. Brought him back.
Much love to Frankie Golden, Miko Pac Jam, Antoine King, Carivity, A.V. Murgerson Jr. Thank you for your comments in the chat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Lindell Jefferson, Virginia Finest. A lot of love in the chat.
So Donnie, in reference to your question, right? I think that a lot of people are mimicking what they think, right? They're copying after because they associate a white phenomenon with success, right? So, you know, in other words, I don't know no rapper that produces their own guns. They got to buy them from somewhere. They got to get them from somewhere. All right.
We got to stop
mimicking. They're mimicking what
we
they
got.
see out
We
there.
got to stop rapping about killing each other. I mean,
correct. I'm 100%.
I don't want to kill nobody.
Right.
I mean, unless it's a war, but I don't want to have that on my soul.
Yeah, they can't have a career without saying that. Let them say it about killing somebody else and see how quick the music change.
Right.
Just say it once about somebody else other than us.
So you can see it's a plan.
Right, it is a plan. Say you're gonna kill somebody white tea. Say you're gonna kill.
So we are growing a generation of cowards.
Happy birthday.
That's why people run. That's why nobody is there when you shoot somebody.
Michelle Walker, it's my birthday too.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy.
We going into the sad season.
Yeah, tomorrow is the DJ birthday too. So happy birthday tomorrow, little DJ.
Happy birthday to Planet Wells too, man.
Yeah, happy birthday, Planet.
All right.
Happy birthday, Planet Wells and Michelle Walker.
Michelle Walker. Powerful.
You know, but the along with the passion has to be the compassion, right? And we have to activate this center in ourself, deep in the heart, in the soul, that reactivate that to deal with this unbelievable situation that we have at this time. Because it ain't simple. It's very complicated. Very complicated. And we need all of our stuff, all of it, to survive and flourish. Okay? Because as negative as it is, there's always some light.
I'm glad
you got to attach yourself to that light.
I'm glad you said that, Planet, because here's something we don't talk about on the show. Good white people got to step up too.
Absolutely.
If you want this country to stay strong, y'all got to remove that person from the White House. Well, that person is very sick. That person is mentally ill.
But they have 500 years too.
No, y'all put them in there. Y'all need to get them up out of there. Sit them down. And J.D. Vance don't need to go there. We just need a decent president. I mean, do you know people who start a problem only to sell you the solution?
Well,
they create the problem only to sell you the solution. Everything was fine before this idiot gets in charge.
Donnie, on that note, right? I was just thinking about exactly what you were talking about, okay? And I looked at it from the perspective of racism and white supremacy, right? All right. And I said to myself, well, wait, listen. I said, well, wait. If they wanted it to go, it would have been gone. So
that's right.
So we got to see that.
Yeah, because I mean, you still got the Ku Klux Klan, you still got sundown towns.
If they wanted it to go,
the Black Panthers are gone.
If they wanted it to go, it'd have been gone in 1969.
Yeah.
They want it here.
Racism is so stupid.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you something I've heard over the weekend about the many Black women who have been fired. I've gotten a report where I was told 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs as a result of Trump being in office.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that sisters are on a mission. And so if you find some good sisters on a mission, support them.
Absolutely.
They're tired of the microaggressions at work brought to them by white women. They are tired of it. They are as tired of it as that Black man in New York who was bird watching, was sick of that white woman that called the police on him for bird watching. So white people are gonna have to lift up their vibration too. I don't know how that works, but enough with the silly stuff. And what sense does it make to cause a fracture in your own country? What sense does it make to rile up Black people and piss them off? It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't do that. Don't you know them people are very connected to God? It said the words say, because they like throwing the Gutenberger or Gutenhammer Bible and all of that on us. It says, touch not thy anointed. I shared with you on the last show that the elders said, we are not kings and queens. We are prophets to the kings and queens. It says the power of life and death is in the tongue. So we can speak life over a people, over a community. We can speak life over a product. That's why we buy these designer brands of white people that don't even like us. And for all of the people that do make clothes, can you stop making the pants with some butts that fit Black people? Because I'm getting tired of these little Asian butts. You know, I got a Black man's butt. You know what I mean? Wearing these little skinny jeans, and you know what I mean? Need to put some more butt in the jeans, the blue jeans. You wear jeans that falling all off you. Planet Wells, we need some meditation, man.
Okay. Okay, so the value, once again, of stillness is to connect with something that is not neurotic. Neurotic is like going from left to right, always in motion, going back and forth, right? So you want to create stillness in yourself so that you're not pulled either way. You're in the center, and that center is you, and there's magic in that center. Okay? There is magic in it, but you got to have a little patience. You got to have a little, call on a little grace to be still. So at this time in the show, we try to do a small, short meditation, just as a taste, just as a seed. Okay. And everybody, I don't care if you're in the hospital, I don't care if you're in a joint, I don't care where you are. Okay. You can do this. Okay. You can. Okay. So here we go. Take a deep breath. And be thankful for your existence. Love your family. Love yourself. And love all those who have come before you. That activates the blood in your veins. Okay. Blessings and grace.
You know, playing of the song came to mind as you were putting us in a quiet moment. And these are songs I grew up on. I don't know about you, but I've learned to reword them to fit what I now understand. So one of the songs playing it was, I knew it was the blood. You don't know where that song come from, do you? I knew it was the blood. You don't know that, do you? Mafia, you don't know nothing about that. I knew it was the blood that saved me.
There you go. Was that
now, I had to work with the words. One day when I was lost. Then I think about it. So I reworded it. My people died on the cross. I knew it was the blood of our ancestors that allowed for me to be here. Our ancestors that were lynched, the ones that were killed, pregnant mothers, all of that trauma that we come through, and we still come out shining. So I salute you, brothers. Horace, you from Chicago, one of the toughest cities in America. Y'all don't be playing. East Baltimore, Mafia, Shakur, Planet Wells, you talk about Hawaii, but you New York all day long. Hannibal James, I still ain't forgave y'all for beating my Ravens. I want you to know we 6-5 right now. I want you to know.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna see us again. But ain't nothing like a grown man fight, and that's what you get here. And so for all of the brothers who locked up and wish they could have this conversation, for all of the people who are dead who wish they could be here to have this.
Absolute.
For our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, Ashe. I pass it on to Horace Lee IV.
Ashe.
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you, Donnie, for that remix.
Absolute.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
love them songs. I grew up on them songs, but as I've gotten older, like I can't say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I got to say the Father, the Mother, and the Child.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. That's right, brothers.
They took the woman out of our understanding.
Yes, sir.
They took her out. The Father, the Mother. Oh, that's too much for me. The Father, the Mother, the Child. I can understand that.
Yes, sir.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay, y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
I want to start off with this honors list by giving honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, to the great Queen Neitha, to the most honorable Empress Badiasi, the most honorable Empress Chief Redbird, the honorable Chief Warhorse, and the newest member to this list is Kimba Vita of Congo, Dr. Francis C. Wilson, Dr. Ari Khanna, Sister Shahrazad Ali, the late, great Ashada Shakur, the great Angela Davis, the great Mama T, the great sister Vicky Dillon, the great sister Myra, the great Dr. Joy DeGrew, the great sister on YouTube by the name of the Chris, the honorable sister Secrete Balance, honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm Malik El Shabazz, the honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, the honorable Dr. Delbert Blair, the honorable Taj Tariq Bey, and honorable Dr. G, honorable Dr. Claude Anderson, the late great honorable Sun Ra, Patrice Lumumba, Professor P.L. Lumumba, the late great C. Freeman Ill, the honorable Dr. Martin Luther King, Che Guevara, the most honorable Dr. Malachi Z. York, Amalia Satila, Julius Malema, President Ibrahim Traore, which is my right-hand man, my other right-hand man, Julius Malema, my other right-hand man, the beloved brother, Barbecue of Haiti, the honorable brother, Bobby Hemmett, the honorable Reverend Phil Valentine, Nellie Fuller, Fred Hampton, honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Anthony T. Browder, Professor James Smalls, Steve Coakley, Billy Carson, 19 Keys, Dan Calloway, Karimo Ahua, Rizza Islam, the legendary Topcast, the late great Dr. Sebi, the late great Leila Ha Africa, the honorable Yaki Awakening, the most honorable King Randall, the great and honorable brother Doni Glover for providing us with this platform for us to reach our people, the most honorable Planet Wells, to whom we wish a happy birthright, the wise and most honorable brother Hannibal James, the young, wise, and intelligent brother Mafia Core, and all of our viewers who are 100% on our team in this monumental indigenous movement here on Turtle Island without any questions asked whatsoever. Ashe.
Horace Lee the Fourth.
Horace Lee the Fourth.
Horace Lee the Fourth.
Yes, my brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mafia Shakur, you got the final word, Bill.
Oh man, I just want to say, if you can't make it to the channel to, grow with us, continue to grow within yourself every day, because you have the keys and the answers to everything that you're trying to unlock with yourself. And when you come and you have the opportunity to share with us, come and share with us, and we can grow together.
Please like and subscribe. We would love to have you come on and join us on the show. Planet Wells, how can people get in touch with you?
Through Mafia Shakur.
Hannibal James, how can people get in touch with you?
OurHeritageHub.com. And I'd like to give a shout out to Naya, who be lashing out. She'll be kicking it with us pretty soon.
What's that website again?
OurHeritageHub.com.
You might want to put that in the comments so we can further get that word out there. Mafia?
You can reach me on all social platforms, Mafia Shakur.
Chief Hars.
Yes, sir. At Dogstar Network on YouTube. And for a final word, I want to say free Jeff Ford, free Larry Hoover, and free my brother Rashad Jamal.
Ashe.
And Dr. Malachi Z. York. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Free to God.
We'll be back Tuesday evening, 9 p.m. or 9:10 p.m. Good evening,
Peace,
world.
my brothers.
Peace.
Peace.